Welcome back for another video. I'm Eharbad, a free-to-play endgame player in Raid Shadow Legends. Today, the Ice Golem Undead only tournament dropped, and we've been pleasantly surprised with a legendary tome at the top. I mean, after two pretty disappointing tournaments midweek, Plarium have redeemed themselves somewhat and given us a tournament that is well worth your attention. As I mentioned in a video the other day, I am doing the champion training tournament. I needed to do it to manage my overall champion roster, given that I was going to go for the guaranteed status, which you saw the shard pulls on yesterday. I've been just basically working my way through the food using the brew method that I've shared previously, plus running a bit of campaign. And I've been able to do this with really not having used too many resources at all, to be honest. When you're getting that much 3-star food already. Plus, obviously, I was running a solo farm Theodore in Dragon. And now we've got the Ice Golem where I'm also running a solo farm approach to further level food. So we've got the Void Shard already. I'm going to keep on going and ultimately I'll get the 6-star Chaos ore as well. Hopefully finish somewhere between 7th and 10th in doing so, but if people keep pushing beyond that, I'm not going to chase it. In terms of the Dragon tournament, did manage to pick up 75 gems there, so that will be nice. Right, so unfortunately, I'd actually recorded a video, a fairly lengthy video, talking about my Crypt King build for stage 24. And ironically enough, 15 minutes into the video where I was just doing the outro run, it failed. And it failed because of a really freak occurrence of a Frigid Vengeance proc with both the side ads being alive. Now, with the Crypt King kind of approach, it's likely that the side ads will be alive. But the part that we would say is less likely is we shouldn't really be proccing the Frigid Vengeance. But unlike a poison build, because we're relying only on 1 HP burn, well, 3 HP burns effectively, instead of stacking a lot of poisons, there's actually a higher chance that we're going to hit the Frigid Vengeance. I then tried rebuilding and going for a much higher effective HP pool, and the same thing happened again. So even though I got his HP pool above 90k, it still wasn't enough to survive a Frigid Vengeance hit plus a follow-up hit. So that was kind of, I got enough to be able to survive the initial Frigid Vengeance, but not enough. So it wasn't 100%. And the frustration there was that I ran it 15 times. It was fine. I then did the video. It was fine during the video. And then just suddenly it failed after. So what I have been running instead is stage 20. Stage 20 is completely 100%. There's absolutely no way we're going to lose on stage 20. So I am sacrificing a little bit in terms of the quality of gear that I'm going to acquire, but we're improving slightly on the efficiency in terms of the tournament points we get per energy. So it's a bit of a trade-off. Typically, I'll only run stage 20, 24 or 25, and 24 is my first preference. I did want to test out an Ultimate Death Knight solo build to share with you guys, but unfortunately my Ultimate Death Knight is not yet booked, and with CVC still a few days away, I don't think it's going to happen in time for this tournament. Instead, I want to share with you my findings with Crypt King, and the fact that I think whilst he can beat stage 24 solo, it won't be 100%. He can beat the waves 100%, that's not a problem. But you can get unlucky on the boss, and I don't think there's any way of preventing that. Now, if I had a empowered Crypt King or potentially a high blessing, then we could get the stat level up high enough to be able to make stage 24 100%. But I think currently, with my quality of gear and a baseline Crypt King, it's just not possible. That said, stage 20 works a dream. One thing to mention though is stage 24 would in fact be 100% reliable if Crypt King put decrease attack on the Ice Golem himself. But frustratingly, the AI does not ever seem to want to apply the decrease attack until the Ice Golem's nearly dead. At that point, we'll actually get an 8-1 on the boss. So if we had decrease attack on at all times, it would be perfectly 100%. And the only way to do that would be to click target the Ice Golem on every run. So if you did want to babysit your runs, you could farm stage 24. I'll just put a little bit of music on, we'll play out the rest of the run, and then we'll take a look at the build. Right then, so this is the build we've ended up in, and you definitely don't need these stats to beat stage 20, but I was trying to get a build that would work for stage 24, and I pushed the stats as high as I possibly could with the gear on my account, went to 94k HP, 3k defense. I had to drop some speed to do it, but with glyphing, I could probably get that closer to 250, but I'd have to invest some big glyphs, and we might look to do that during CVC, but we'll see. And then 350 resistance, 220 accuracy, the kind of traditional solo build for dungeons in terms of resistance and accuracy. The skills are obviously done. We have gone for regen plus 2 pieces of protection, giving us extra resistance and HP for more survivability, just more raw stats. The masteries, I've got most of the ones that will help us from a survivability perspective. So we've got things like tough skin, blast proof, rejuvenation, delay death. We have oppressor to help us with turn meter. We have arcane celerity to again help us with turn meter. We have the spirit haste to make sure we get the additional speed when our food dies. Those are all super critical. Now, I have got steadfast on Crypt King, but I do think actually pinpoint is a better choice because of Crypt King's base HP. I think you get a higher stat value from pinpoint. So you're better off taking one less substat in accuracy and getting a substat in HP percent versus having steadfast instead of pinpoint, if that makes sense. Exalt and Death, I don't think we actually benefit that much from it. I don't think it's really much of an issue. Swarm Smiter is pretty nice to have. You'll always get a bit of additional accuracy. It's reasonably good in terms of stat value, but not that important. But there really isn't anything else that we could get instead. So whilst I'm going to carry on farming stage 20 because I don't want to suffer any losses, let's at least show you guys how stage 24 plays out. It's very similar to how stage 20 works because we're relying on HP burn to do the damage, and that's based on enemy max HP. The runtime is pretty much identical to stage 20. And additionally, the mobs we face are actually the same. So it's just basically higher stat level. Like I said, if we were willing to watch all the runs and force click the boss on each run, then we would be able to farm stage 24 at 100%. Furthermore, if we did have an empowered or high level blessed Crypt King, we could probably get the stats to make it work as well. But the reality is, if I can't get it to work with the gear I have, I think most players are going to struggle with a baseline Crypt King to make it work as well. The other thing to say is you can do it without any AI preset, but it's more consistent and quicker to run it with a preset, because Crypt King has this annoying behavior where by default he will not use his A3 unless HP burnout is out across the entire enemy wave. And I really would like to see Plarium fix some of these questionable AI settings where we have champions that just refuse to use their skills when they should be using them. It's really annoying. And although we have the AI presets and they are great in a lot of situations, it's also annoying that there are many champions that just still have fundamentally broken AI that need fixing, and they just don't get the attention that they deserve. In the comments, if you could please share what teams you're using and how you're going to approach this undead only Ice Golem. I know some people have a Beck and will just be able to easily solo stage 25 with food. I'm expecting some people will be using an ultimate Death Knight build in Toxic. So we're through to the boss. I will actually just force click the boss so you can see that if we have that decrease attack out there, although we're increasing our chance to take a Frigid Vengeance hit by applying more direct damage to the boss, the reality is because we've got that decrease attack there, we're in no danger of ever actually dying. The damage that a Frigid Vengeance is going to do to us with 2 adds up whilst the boss has decreased attack is considerably less than our HP pool. So it would be completely 100% if you were willing to force click each time. Now I'm not, so I'm just going to keep running stage 20 for the rest of the 2100 points required. But if you wanted to, you could. And if anyone's found anything else that's interesting, please share. I was considering building a team based around Frozen Banshee to solo the boss and then use Vogoth plus a wave killer to get there. That was one of my ideas if Crypt King hadn't worked. But since I managed to get Crypt King to solo, albeit stage 20, the fact is he can solo, and so that's the approach that I've ended up going for. But I'd love to hear what everyone else's approach has been and what you think of the overall tournament. I think if they do more of these tournaments in the future, I'd love to see more Void Shards, Legendary Tomes, and Tier 2 Soul Stones. I'd really like to not get the Chaos or the chickens. That's my personal opinion, but once again, please share in the comments what you think. And then thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.